Hello, sports betting friends. I hope you are in great shape and that you are energized because for today, Wednesday, September 13, I want to discuss 5 potential wagers in Major League Baseball. All right. So to start with, I'm going to discuss a betting system. First of all, let me recap yesterday. I gave you a couple of free picks on YouTube. The White Sox at home against the Royals in game number 1 of the doubleheader, as I liked Dylan Cease to rebound after several consecutive bad outings, and he did perform well in a pretty easy win in that game. Then I also took a shot on the Padres at the Dodgers at something like plus 145 odds, and unfortunately it did not even come close from winning. The Dodgers dismantled the Padres. If I remember correctly, the final score was like 11-2. Now, I added one more pick at mjpicks.com, a premium pick, under 10.5 runs in the Yankees-Red Sox game number 1 of their doubleheader. And again, if I remember correctly, only 5 runs were scored in a 3-2 win. So that was a winner. So a slightly positive day. The only loss occurred on a pretty big underdog. All right, so now for today, I want to start with a pick that is supported by a betting system called the Snapped Losing Streak number 2. First, let me tell you about the performance of this betting strategy this year. It holds an 18-17 record. And based on the odds that we got on those 35 picks, we have obtained a plus 1.6 unit profit. And that is from risking 1 unit per wager. That's how I track my bets all the time. I always pretend as if I'm risking 1 unit. And by the way, 1 unit represents your typical bet. So for instance, if you tend to bet $35 per bet, then you can simply multiply my winnings in terms of units by your average bet. So in this case, 35 bucks times 1.6 would tell you how much you would have won by tailing those 35 picks suggested by the Snap Losing Streak number 2 strategy. In terms of ROI, the return on investment, it has been plus 4.6%. Now, in prior years, this system has generated a mix of wins and losses. So overall, just like this year, it has performed okay. It has not done great, and it has not done poorly. All right, so how does this system work? Let me show you the rules. It recommends fading the home team if they won their last game after losing at least 4 in a row. Also, they must be facing the same opponent as yesterday, and their money line today must be better than minus 200. So that prevents us from taking big favorites. This system has not done well on big favorites. So we have 3 criteria for betting, and let me share my screen so that you can see which team qualifies. So first of all, you need a home team that won its past game after losing at least 4 in a row. Now tonight, the Colorado Rockies are playing at home. Not tonight, but this afternoon. They are at home. They won yesterday, 6-4. And before that, they did go through a bad losing skid. They lost 5 in a row. So that fits the first criteria for betting. The second was they need to be facing the same opponent as the day before. And that's the case because they played the Cubs yesterday and they are still playing the Cubs today. And finally, you want the money line on the Rockies to be better than minus 200. Well, that is easily the case. In fact, they are underdogs. And remember that this system recommends fading the home team. So in this case, we must fade the Rockies. And that's why pick number 1 goes to the Chicago Cubs at minus 164 odds. Those were the best odds available about an hour ago when I recommended this play. And I got it with the BetOnline Sportsbook. All right, now let me share a few more arguments with you. By the way, this is an official pick. I like it enough to bet, so I did recommend this play at mjpicks.com. Well, first of all, obviously, the Cubs are fighting for a playoff spot, while Colorado is simply looking at the future. So you have the motivation factor that gives an edge to Chicago in this game. Now, Jameson Taillon will start for Chicago. If you take a look at his ERA, which is 5.27, it seems to indicate a pretty bad season. But if you take a look at his WHIP statistic, the walks plus hits per inning pitched, he has a value of 1.30, which is right on the league average. So the league average for the WHIP stat is 1.30, and that is exactly what Taillon has. Now, in his past 10 starts, there are 7 of them in which he allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. So he has done quite well recently, and that gave me more confidence in this play. Now, I agree that the odds are not super enticing, but in my mind, it is still a good bet. Because for Colorado, the starter is Ty Blach, and all of his numbers suggest that he is a bad pitcher. So his 6-year career ERA is above 5, which is abysmal. His WHIP stat, and again remember that the league average is 1.30, his career WHIP stat is 1.45, which is significantly higher. And also, it's not like he was a young pitcher that could improve. He is 32 years old. So there's not a positive outlook for him. I don't see how he could suddenly become a good pitcher. He is simply quite bad. So I think the Cubs will take advantage of him, especially in the hitter-friendly course field. So I like the Cubs here. If you like to take more risk, you could even go with the Cubs with the run line at better odds. Personally, I decided to go with the money line, but it's really up to you. All right, up next, we have a couple of picks that are backed by the blowout #1 strategy. It is quite simple to follow. Bet a team that won its previous game by a margin of 8+ runs if they are facing the same opponent today. All right, so let's see which team fits. Sorry, I forgot to leave that window open. So yesterday, September 12, see right there. So we have the Mariners. They won 8-0 against the Angels. So that is a blowout win. They won by a margin of at least 8 runs. And they are indeed facing the same team. So that's why my second pick is the Seattle Mariners. Now, I've told you in previous videos or live streams that when my systems recommend betting a team, the very vast majority of the time, I will bet the money line. Because when I did my big statistical analysis where I developed those systems, I was looking at money lines, not run lines. Now, in the past, there were several occasions where I took the run line so that I could get better odds. But I ended up getting burned quite often. So I said earlier this season that as much as possible, I try to avoid the run line. Now, in this case, the money line on the Mariners is something like -300, which is tiny. So I'm going to do an exception, and I've decided to grab them with the run line, but I don't do this often. Because now the best odds I saw earlier was -135 with the Stake Sportsbook. Now I remember that like DraftKings had -148, which is fine as well. To me, up to -155, that is a good value wager. Now, in this case, so I've got several arguments supporting this pick for you. All right, so this season, the blowout #1 system has generated 113 bets. And the average odds of all of those bets has been minus 116. Now, if you do the math, that means that in order to break even, you needed a win percentage above 53.7%. Now, our actual win percentage has been 53.0%. So we are slightly below the break-even point. So that's why we have made tiny losses so far this season based on this system. Now, in case you are wondering, our actual record has been 60 and 53. So we do have a 53% win percentage, which has not been quite enough to rack up some profits. But given that it has done a fairly good job in the past, I'm still trusting it. Again, just like the snapped losing streak number 2 system that I told you about earlier, I would call this one an average system. All right, so the Mariners, they lost 4 straight games before exploding for an 8-0 win yesterday, which will boost their confidence. Obviously, they are in the thick of the playoff race. They need that victory. And they will, so this is almost a must-win game. They are supposed to win this game because they are sending Luis Castillo to the mound, who is one of the top pitchers. And one thing I like in this game, and that enticed me to place an actual bet, is the famous revenge factor that I often talk about. And this is clearly a situation that I like. Because on August 4, Luis Castillo allowed 7 earned runs to those same Angels. So he is probably pissed, and he will be ultra motivated to get some payback and shut out the Angels. In his past 8 games, it has been kind of an all or nothing for Castillo, because there were 5 times where he allowed either 0 or 1 run, so he was fantastic. And in the other 3 games, he allowed 7, 5, and 4 runs. Now, in this case, I'm confident that he will do very well. He will be razor sharp because they need that win, and he's also upset about pitching badly against the Angels, which are division rivals. Please note that Castillo has won 6 straight decisions, so he is on a roll. All right, there is one more team that fits under the blowout number 1 strategy. Can you guess which team it is? Well, all you need to think about is which team won yesterday by a margin of at least 8 runs. And the answer is the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won 11-2 against San Diego yesterday. Now, as you might notice on the image that's showing on your screen right now, this is just a lean. So this is like an unofficial pick for me. It's not good enough to bet, or maybe I might consider placing a small bet. The best odds I saw earlier was minus 130 on the Dodgers. Yeah, one guy, I see some comments here with Adam who's saying Seattle at minus 200, no thanks. Well, like I said, I'm not taking them with the money line. So I'm taking them with the run line at like minus 135, minus 140 odds. All right, let's keep moving. So the Dodgers, to me, this is just a lean for a few reasons. First of all, so despite a very high walk rate, Blake Snell is enjoying a fantastic season. He continues to be one of the league's best pitchers. In fact, his 2.52 ERA ranks second in the big leagues. He is only trailing Justin Steele from the Cubs that has a better ERA than him. Now, what's quite surprising is that on the surface, Blake Snell seems to be like one of the top pitchers. Like I said, he ranks second in terms of the ERA. But if you take a look at the more reliable whip statistic, where again the league average is 1.30, his whip statistic is 1.25, which is only a bit better than average. So to me, that suggests that he may regress at some point in time. Of course, the big problem for him has been the walks. And in this case, you don't want to walk the Dodgers too often because you might get burned. Now, LA will send Ryan Pepiot to the mound. His 4 appearances this season have all been very solid. In fact, he has allowed either 0 or 1 run in each of those 4 appearances. Now, his 0.86 ERA this year is incredible. Of course, it's not going to last forever. And last year, in 9 games, in 9 appearances, his ERA was 3.47, which is quite good as well. Now, still, I've decided to stay on the sidelines regarding the Dodgers. It does not make me feel super comfortable betting Ryan Pepiot, who is a very inexperienced pitcher, at negative odds against the pitcher with the second best ERA in the league. And the Padres also have some firepower on offense. So maybe if you want to bet the Dodgers, go ahead. That's your decision. Personally, I am likely to stay away of this game. However, I do have an official pick for this game, which is, let me show you, Ryan Pepiot under 5.5 strikeouts, and I placed my bet at minus 135 odds with bet 365. Let me show you right here. So Ryan Pepiot under 5.5 strikeouts at minus 135 odds. Oh, you can even get a glimpse of one of the bets that I loved the most this weekend in the NFL, the New York Giants first half money line, where I bet 250. But speaking of the NFL, my NFL picks are going to be released very, very shortly. I finished shooting the clips yesterday, and my video producer is doing his magic, so it's going to be on YouTube very soon. Let's take a look at Ryan Pepiot's numbers. So again, my pick is under 5.5 strikeouts. Let's take a look at his 4 appearances this year. He has picked up 3, 3, 6, and 5 strikeouts. So that alone tells me that under 5.5 seems like a good bet. But one more thing I like here is the fact that the Padres, they don't strike out that often. In fact, they have struck out the 9th fewest times in the entire league. Also, now teams are getting to know Pepiot a bit more. They have better scouting reports. They have had many occasions to see what he does. And basically, like I said earlier, San Diego has some firepower on offense. So they do have a chance to chase him early in the game. And even if he lasts for a while on the mound, well, like I said, Pepiot does not strike out many guys, and the Padres are quite good at putting the ball in play. So to me, this is a solid bet. If you ask me, okay, well, my bookie has a different line, which may not be as good as mine. I'd say that this is a good bet at odds up to minus 155, minus 160, according to my calculations. All right, now I still have another pick for you. First, I want to say hello to a few viewers. BMT Seidel says, I thought you were not using the blowout system. Well, pay attention to the fact that I'm talking about the blowout number 1, which is different, completely different from the blowout number 2 and the blowout number 3. And what I said in earlier videos, and thanks for bringing up this fact, is that I am not betting the blowout number 2. This is the one that really sucks, that has done very poorly. All right, Adam says, best looking dogs of the day, Twins and Reds. To be honest, I don't have a strong opinion on those games, but a big thank you for sharing. Nathan says, hi sir, good morning from Cleveland. It's good to see you. Oh, my man, Larry Kelly says, the best in the business, Professor. You are a genius. Thank you for all you do. A big thank you, Larry, for commenting every day my videos. We have Nakre623. Hello, my friend Michael. Primetime Yoke says hello, 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 my friend. Dave Giroux is here as well. Oh, he's also looking at the Twins money line, Cubs money line, and Mariners run line. So we have two people who like the Twins here. Maybe I should take a deeper look at this play. All right, let's move on to the fifth pick. And this is not supported by any of my betting systems. It's only a play that I like after analyzing the game more in depth. And the play in question, and by the way, don't go away, because in a few minutes or in a few seconds, I will tell you about an amazing opportunity for you to win $1,000 US. Okay, so stick around until the end of this video. So my pick number 5 is the Toronto Blue Jays money line. I placed my bet at minus 120 odds with the Bet99 sportsbook earlier today. Again, maybe the line has gone up or down since then. I am not sure. Okay, so why do I like this play? And this is an official pick. So I've provided you with 4 official picks and 1 lean, and I will recap them a bit later for those of you who join later. All right, so in this case, we have Jordan Montgomery facing Yusei Kikuchi. It's pretty interesting to note that both pitchers have identical whip statistic of 1.24, and they have super similar ERAs, 3.62 versus 3.57. So these guys have numbers that are almost the same. And now Montgomery's past 3 starts have not gone very well. He has allowed 14 earned runs in 14 and 2/3 innings. Now in terms of ERA, he has an ERA of 8.59 in his past 3 starts. And now he's on the road against a pretty tough Blue Jays lineup, and I believe they will take advantage of it, especially given the fact that Toronto has lost the first 2 games of the series in front of their home crowd. They will be super motivated. The crowd will be going wild. So I'm banking on the fact that the Blue Jays will pick up the W today. They will be out for revenge. Also, I have noticed how Texas has a pretty ordinary road record this year at 35 and 34. Now, in Kikuchi's past 6 outings, his record has been 0 and 2. So that makes him look like he's struggling of late, but that's misleading. He has been quite sharp. If you even go further than that, if you take a look at his past 10 starts, he has allowed only 15 earned runs in 55 and 1/3 innings. Now, if you translate that into an ERA, you get 2.44. So he has been extremely solid over a long period of time. Over 10 starts, his ERA has been 2.44. And another reason why I took this bet is because of my statistical model that estimates the win probability of each team, and it also looks at the total, the first half money line, the first half total. And in this case, there is a fairly big difference between the odds and what my model says. In this case, my mathematical model believes the Blue Jays have a 57.8% chance of winning. So if you convert that into odds, that's the equivalent of minus 137. So in my mind, at minus 120 odds, that is a bargain. In case you're wondering, this model basically simulates the game 1 million times by using each team's lineup, so the players that will be batting, and the players and both teams' pitchers. So it simulates each at-bat according to their numbers from this year and also incorporates last year's numbers. And once it's all said and done, it believes the Blue Jays have almost a 58% chance of winning this game. Oh, and speaking of the Blue Jays, I will be making a sports trip this weekend. So with my girlfriend and my oldest son, Maverick, and we will be going to the Blue Jays on Saturday against the Red Sox. And on Sunday, we will be at the Buffalo Bills home opener against the Raiders. So it should be pretty exciting. All right, now don't go away. It's time to tell you about something very exciting. If someone was giving you the opportunity to win $1,000, and that opportunity cost you absolutely nothing, and it required that you spend maybe 2 minutes of your time, would you be interested? Of course you would. And that's exactly what I'm offering you here with a NFL prediction contest for week 2. So all you have to do is to make your picks against the spread on the 15 games that will take place Sunday and Monday. So for week 2, I'm only ignoring the Thursday night game because I want to give as much time as possible to everyone to enter the contest. So the deadline, instead of being on Thursday night, you have until 1 p.m. Eastern Time to enter this free and fun contest. So you're going to make your picks against the spread for each game, and you will also attribute to each of your pick a rating from 1 to 15. So you give 15 to the pick that you are the most confident in, and you're going to award the grade 1 to the pick that you like the least. Because if your pick rated 15 wins, you get 15 points. If your pick rated 14 wins, you get 14 points, and so on. And of course, the person with the most points after week 2 will win $100 US. But if you have a perfect score, I will give you $1,000 instead of 100. Now, I also have a prize for the second and third place finisher, but let me show you exactly what it looks like. Well, the first question that might come up in your mind is, so how do I enter this contest? You need to go to mjpigs.com and you need to sign up there. And when you first sign up, you will need, let me go back here. So when you first sign up, if you don't have an account there yet, you will then have to choose between a free plan or a paid plan. So with the free plan, you are going to receive via email and possibly SMS the free picks I give you on YouTube and maybe a few more. And if you take a paid plan, that's when you get all of my premium picks, all the bets that I am making across all sports. So in the NFL, college football, the lucrative WNBA bets where we have I can't remember the exact numbers, but at some point we had a 27-6 record during their past 33 bets. Of course, we also have some baseball bets that I provide. Some are free on YouTube, but that's only a portion of all the bets I am recommending at mjpigs.com. Now, and even if you take the free plan, you are still able to participate in the contest. So once you log in, you go under free contests, and you see there's only one open contest called NFL Picks Against the Spread Week number 2. And you have all the rules that I already told you about. So you pick the winner ATS of the 15 games on Sunday and Monday. You can take a look at the prizes here. So the first place finisher gets $100. If perfect score, $1,000. The guy that will finish in second place will get access to my picks across all sports for a full week. So NFL, college football, WNBA, baseball. There are a few occasional tennis bets as well. And the person that finishes in third place gets my picks on American football for a full week. So that includes NFL and NCAA. In the NFL, I do provide many player prop bets every week. Well, before the Thursday night game, there's always at least one player prop bet. Before the Monday night game, before the Sunday night game, and before the Sunday 1 p.m. games as well. Now, if there's a tie among several contestants, I will make a random draw and I will reveal the winners in my Week 3 NFL YouTube video. And I will also contact you via email. So all you need to do is click here, enter your picks, and then you can choose, for example, the Colts -1.5. And this is where you enter the rating, maybe rating 7 and so on. And you have all the games here. All right, so I hope that sounds interesting to you. Oh, sorry, I think I just... did I show you my screen? I don't know if I did it. Nobody's commenting about this, so once you log in, you go under free contest. Now you're seeing my screen, I guess. Yes. So under open contest, you can see NFL picks ATS week 2, and this is where you enter your picks. So the Colts, and you choose the rating. I saw a question from one of our viewers. Let me find it again about the contest. Sunny Springs is asking Canadian dollars and American dollars. How are we gonna get paid? Well, I'm going to do a conversion. If you are from Canada, instead of $100, you would get like 130 or 135 Canadian. It depends on the rate of exchange, but don't worry. I'm taking into account the rate of exchange for sure. Roger Rosen says, pick San Diego and other lost. Oakland beat Houston again. Not sure what you're talking about. We only had one losing pick yesterday. Yeah, we lost the Padres pick, but like I showed earlier, the other 2 picks were winners. So that was the under on the Yankees and Red Sox game, and also I took the White Sox in the game number 1. Robbie Vegas says, oh my God, you're worried about the exchange? Yeah, well, don't worry. I will make it fair for everyone. Don't worry. Michael Nakri623 says, you are very generous with your contest, Professor. Well, I just hope that you guys enjoyed them. I want it to be super fun for you. And he's wishing me a great weekend road trip, which should be fun. EE says, hello from Long Island, New York. I'm wishing you luck today, my friend. We have Argenis from Venezuela. Hola, amigo. Nathan says, sounds like fun. Yes, and if the participation level is high for the contest, I am quite likely to do it maybe every single week. So I'm literally giving away $100 every week just so that you have some fun. I hope you appreciate it. And it's also fun to see you enjoy them. All right, so let me recap quickly the picks for all of you who joined later. Number 1, an official pick on the Cubs money line at Colorado, because this pick is backed by the snapped losing streak number 2 system. Then I took the Mariners with the run line against the Angels. Then I had a lean on the Dodgers money line. So far, I have not placed any bet on it. I don't like it enough. But still on that game, I took Ryan Pepiot under 5.5 strikeouts. I like this one quite a bit. And finally, I took the Toronto Blue Jays. I believe they will win the 3rd game of the series after losing the first 2. All right, so that's it for me today. So again, go to mjpicks.com. You have a chance to win $1,000 US if you can make the correct pick against the spread in the 15 week 2 games in the NFL. And also remember that my picks for week 2 are coming up very shortly. You can expect them at the latest by 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything is ready to be published. All right, a big thank you everyone for watching this live stream. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you again tomorrow and watch my NFL video that's coming up. I'm Professor MJ from Quebec City in Canada saying so long.